Hi there, it's me, Teacher Mike from PhuketPals.org. Welcome back to another video. In this one, we're going to look at a couple of things. We're going to look at critical reasoning for the ER. We're also going to look at what you should think about grammatically when you write your extended response for the RLA, okay? So we'll dig first of all into critical reasoning for the ER. Now, over here, you'll see a very useful diagram that you can use when you're practicing at home for this test. You can see that it says both sides now here. Okay, you can see evidence that supports, evidence that opposes. Okay, so as you know, in the ER, for GED RLA, you will get two passages that oppose each other. Okay, you'll get one that says one thing, one that goes against that. Now you have to decide which of these is better supported with evidence. So this little table really helps you out. This is actually I got this at a GED testing service annual summit a couple of years ago, and I've used it ever since with my students. So what you can do is you can get a couple of articles which oppose each other. Okay, now you could use past questions from the extended response if you wanted, or you could look up articles online that have different opinions about something, and you could read them and fill out this table. So here we have, for Article 1, we'd have evidence that supports an idea, and you'd write in your kind of bullet point form here, evidence that supports. Then for the other article, you put it kind of bullet point in here, the evidence that opposes that. Okay, now what you have to do is think about which of these two is better supported, and you have to think about why that's the case. Okay, so before we can actually do that, we have to think about what an argument is. Now, an argument is made up of the following. Arguments contain facts and claims. They contain assumptions, reasons, and evidence, and conclusions as well. Okay, so there's obviously we can have strong arguments or we can have weak arguments. Strong arguments have facts, reasons, evidence, and examples directly related to the topic. Okay, so that's what you're looking for when you read the articles. You're looking for the articles that contains facts, things like statistics, or, things like scientific evidence is good. You're also looking for strong reasons why something is the case. Evidence, as we just said, and nice examples as well. Weak arguments, on the other hand, these mostly feature personal opinion or biased opinion without any supporting evidence or examples. And also they may not be linked directly to the topic. So your job as the extended response student is to figure out, when you have all of the information written here and all of the information written here, you have to figure out which of the two you think contains more of the facts, reasons, and evidence and examples, rather than biased opinions or personal opinions. And when you do a past question for the extended response, you'll clearly see, if you use a table like this, that one of the articles is better supported than the other. Okay, so you have to be able to evaluate the evidence in this way and then write about it in the essay itself. Okay, so if you want to use this table, which I strongly recommend you do, you can put your decision down here, which will be your claim, which will be that you feel that Article A is better supported for whatever reasons that is. Okay, now remember, in the extended response, if you want to score decent points, you have to say why you have the decision that you have. So why is evidence from Article A stronger than evidence from Article B? Perhaps evidence from Article B is supported more by scientific evidence, or you might say that the evidence from Article B contains biased opinion or whatever. So make sure when you give your claim, your decision here, that not only do you say what your decision is, but you also say why that is the case. Okay, and you can put those in the reasons box down below here. So why is your decision what it is? Okay, give a couple of reasons for that. And once you start practicing this, using this table, the reasons should become a little bit clearer. And you'll see those in the next video I'm going to make, actually. We're going to go through a full question and kind of look at this in detail. Okay, so I strongly recommend that you use this table and you start filling up evidence and then deciding, what your claim is and also what the reasons for that are. You can also use things like, we've talked about Newsella before. Okay, so in Newsella, there's a section in there which has opinion articles. So if you type in Newsella, N-E-W-S-E-L-A, opinion on Google, you'll get lots of opinion pieces in there as well. And, you can even evaluate single articles in there. So you could take a single opinion piece from Newsella and write in all the evidence that supports the writer's opinion here. And then you could just evaluate that evidence. You could say if you think that evidence is strong or not. So it's just playing with the readings, reading closely and digging deep with the analysis and the evaluation parts to get the higher points. Okay, so let's move on to grammar for the extended response. And what should you keep in mind? Well, you should keep in mind sentence structure. You need to have a variety of sentence structures. Okay, so simple sentences. Okay, remember there are 4 types of simple sentence. Those using a subject and a verb. Those using a subject, a verb, and a verb. Those using a subject, and a verb, and those using a subject, a verb, and a verb. Okay. Also, you need compound sentences in there. Okay, so using coordinating conjunctions. You also need complex sentences in there, and maybe 1 or 2 compound complex sentences as well. If you're not sure the difference between these different types of sentences, I will do videos at a later date on those for you as well. Also, you need good transitions in your essay. Okay, transitional words and phrases that link together the essay itself, provide cohesion for the essay. Also, be careful with wordiness. Okay, so as George Orwell said, if you can say it in fewer words, then say it in fewer words. Okay, don't try to sound like you're some kind of professor using all of these very, very complicated words and phrases and trying to sound very formal. And usually that's a sign of bad writing. Okay, so just keep things as simple as possible and as clear as possible. Push for clarity rather than trying to sound more intelligent than you are. When you are pretentious or try to sound more intelligent than you really are, it looks so obvious on paper. So be direct and cut out the wordiness if you can. And again, there'll be videos to follow on wordiness as well. Next, look out for run-on sentences and fragments. Okay, so run-on sentences are when you have 2 simple sentences stuck together or 2 independent clauses stuck together with no punctuation. So they just run on and on and on, and they're grammatically incorrect. Fragments as well. Fragments are when you have a dependent clause, but you think you use it as an independent clause and it doesn't make sense. Okay, so for example, if I come into the classroom and I say to my students, after we finish the test, and then I sit down, well, that's a fragment because after we finish the test is a dependent clause, and you can't just have a full stop there. Otherwise, you look crazy. So look out for run-on sentences and fragments in your writing. Fix them if you can pick them out. Homophones as well. Okay, words that sound the same but are spelled differently. Look out for those in your writing. Subject-verb agreement, classic. Okay, just make sure you need to really analyze every subject that you have in each sentence that you have of your essay and make sure the verb used agrees with it. Capitalization. Well, we've all been talking about this since primary school, but students still make mistakes with this. Again, be careful. We have videos on capitalization, so go and have a look at those in our YouTube page. Punctuation as well. You just brush up on that. Punctuation, commas, full stops, using apostrophes correctly, especially with possessives, singular and plural, and all the rest of it. Okay, so if you're not sure what some of these things are, you probably, if they're not up on our YouTube page already, they will be up soon enough. That we will have a video on all of these, just to kind of give you all an idea of what we're talking about. All right, so you really need to leave about 5 minutes at the end of your essay, of your extended response, to check all of these things here. And don't forget, writing with a good tutor can also help you iron out all of these problems and make your writing much more clear and direct. Okay, so that's about it for this video. I hope it helped you a little bit. I strongly advise you to start using the table that I showed you in the first slide, this one here. Okay, these skills do not come naturally. Okay, you need to be reading opinion pieces. As I said, I recommend from Newsella, and you really need to be picking out evidence from them and then deciding if that evidence is strong or weak. Also, if you type in Google extended response prompts or extended response examples, and you'll get there's lots of online. There are lots of examples. You can look at the different articles, and then you can build up both sides of this table and decide which is better supported and why. And don't forget the why. The why is the most important thing if you want to get a decent score in this test. Okay, so that's about it for today. Thanks for your time. I'm Teacher Mike from PhuketPals.org. If you like the video, why not subscribe to our channel and hit the bell, and you can get lots more free videos as well. All right, so until next time, have a good day. Thank you. Bye-bye.